few years, I started getting an issue with weight. It bothered me, but not to the point where I needed to seek professional help or advice. I thought I could handle it on my own, and I turned out that I couldn't. I went to the doctor and say, there's something going on and I don't know what's happening. And of course, she told me that I should eat less, eat better, and exercise more. Things that I kind of already knew. If it was that simple, we would all be doing it. I said, okay, go home, try to eat less. But of course, those cravings were still there. I was still dealing with the fatigue, and I wanted to get better. I just didn't know how to get better. And I just kind of felt like I was stuck in this cycle. I would try, I would fail, and then I was pre-diabetic, and that's kind of what scared me quite a bit because diabetes runs in my family. I signed up for a couple of these workshops, and a lot of it was, how to eat better, healthy eating, which did help, but I just didn't feel while I was doing it that it was personalized for me. And I wanted to learn more what I could do personally for myself. And I remember being introduced to this project, and we were asked to meet up with one of their doctors. And while we did the interview, I really enjoyed sitting with her and talking to her because it was more geared towards me personally. We kind of took a step back and we looked back into my past, and it was kind of like a chart type of theme. And that really appealed to me because it really did make me look back and think, well, this is what happened in my life. This is another thing that happened. These things could have been contributing factors to what I'm going through now. Going back and looking back on my past and looking at things that I've accomplished or have overcome really showed me how strong I really am and how strong I really can be in the future. In doing so, I felt like this interview was really geared towards me. I really got a lot out of that. And that's also when I was recommended to start the journaling. So I started doing it, and I found that I really would start digging deep into what was going on in my head while I was, have these moments of cravings, or during the times when I would eat, what I would eat, how I was feeling, how I was connected to that. I was thinking about last night, and I thought about the walking part. It was 10 p.m., and I thought, why not? Cooler in the evening and help me distress. I've been wanting to start walking for a while now, so I went. My daughter and my kid's dad went with me. It was good. Except my right knee is now acting up. It's getting painful to walk on. Anytime I try and do anything cardio, something hurts or goes wrong. When I push down in the middle of my knee, there is pain. On a good note, we walked 30 minutes. I feel proud of myself for getting up and going. The fresh air was nice and less busy in the night. I don't feel as self-conscious walking. The feeling was refreshing. I'm home and I'm tired and going to head to bed. Regardless of my knee, I feel accomplished tonight. It's a good feeling. I remember there was a few times when I would just break down and I would be angry at myself and wonder, why can't I just stop? And then I would write about it, and I would write about those feelings, and it kind of brought a lot of awareness to myself in writing it out. I realized that there was a lot of connection with how I was feeling and with what I was eating, or vice versa. So writing about it really brought awareness to what was happening, what was going on in my life. Made a bigger impact on my journey so far. It was a huge factor, and I really enjoyed journaling. I would start walking. In the beginning, it was very hard. I stuck to it, and afterwards I would write about how I felt, and I would feel great. I felt inspired. I felt motivated. I wanted to do more. It turned into something that I have to do into something that I wanted to do. I would write about how hard it was, but I would also write about how great it was. The things that I enjoyed about walking, the environment I was in, the stress would be gone just by walking. I would feel invigorated. I felt refreshed by the time I got home. So I would write about those so I can remember that those feelings next time that I wanted to not do it. I would just read back on my journal and I went for a walk and I felt this. So that would motivate me and inspire me to go do the next time, the next walk. I was asked if I was going for a walk, and I thought about staying in and watching TV. Then I thought about how great my evening walks made me feel. So I went and walked for 30 minutes. Sunset was beautiful after the rainfall, made my spirit pick up. I felt happy and invigorated. I felt proud of myself for doing this every night, but mostly because I want to. Big difference than before. I think because I don't make it into something I have to do. I do it because I want to, because of how it makes me feel. I feel free, I feel alive, I enjoy the scenery, the sounds, the fresh air. I'm doing something that is good for my muscles and my heart and my mood, and it's something that I am capable of. I even felt tonight like jogging. I felt I could do it. Patience though, because I may overwhelm myself and I can add in slowly later. It wasn't a textbook thing. It was more like, what do I need? What do I want in order to live and be healthy? And during that journey, I also realized that being healthy and living healthy is everything. It's not just about weight. It's about, and not just your physical self, it's your mental health, it's your emotional health, it's your spiritual health. And those things I connected with when I would do my activity of choice, which was walking. So walking through, nature, I would be more open to what was around me and just be in that moment. And those times and those things brought me towards healing. And that's the bottom line, I think, was healing. Wasn't just about losing weight, it was about healing myself inside out. And I feel like all those things are connected. So I just want to continue on with that journey. And I know that it's not a straight line. It's very up and down, and it's going to be up and down probably for the rest of my life. There's no easy, quick fix. The fix is the healing part, which is embracing all of those things. Just the physical self, the mental self, the emotional health, the spiritual health. So I want to just kind of remember that and continue remembering that throughout my journey, is how far I've come, how far I've been through, and how far I'm going to go through. And everything is possible. It brought hope towards my journey, my life. And I feel like a lot of people need that hope. They need that motivation and inspiration and reminder of how strong they really are. The past year, I kind of fell back into depression. There was few things that contributed towards it, but overall, that depression brought me kind of back down to where I felt like I had to start over. The weight gain came back, and I just felt like giving up. I felt like hope went out the door. I just didn't want to be around people. I just didn't want to be judged. I just didn't want people to think I was a failure. And once I started to get better, I would slowly get out there a little bit more and more at a time. And the more I got out there, the more I started getting involved into passions that I've had or passions that I didn't even know about. I felt like I was getting out of a prison. But then again, I have my journal. I look back on it and I remember, you're going through a hard time right now, but this is going to get better. It can get better because I've been through it. And I know like I'm not starting from square one again. This journey is always going to keep going and going. I'm getting back on track, reading through my journal and just remembering the things I have accomplished, the things I've achieved, and that I can do that again. And that inspires me and that motivates me to do better and wanting to do better, which is a big thing. So I started an art journal. I drew a woman who kind of is a tree, and she's growing and she's got roots built into the ground. And I drew this particular piece because I felt prior to this whole journey I started on that I was very lost. But throughout this whole journey, I just find that every little step led me to where I need to be right now. I just felt like I needed a poem to go with it, and it just kind of expressed how I feel or how I'm feeling right now, today. Here I stand. Here I stand, I found my place. I never thought I would embrace the path I walked, which seemed so long, when I thought life did me wrong. I was so lost, but now I found my place to be on this here ground. I'm thankful now, because now I know without the pain I wouldn't grow. Life is good on this here land. I found my place, and here I stand.